Hi, welcome again to my channel. My name is Hewson Welch. As I always say, you can call me Hugh. So today we're going to be dealing with the last video in our series about the 4 essential skills, AI skills to have in this year 2025. So today we're dealing with vibe coding. So vibe coding is really interesting. Similar to the situation with AI agents, there's still more development needed in the area of vibe coding for it to be as stable as we would like it, for it to be as smooth flowing as, our imaginations would tend to want. But it's still at the point. But it is at the point of being quite effective. Many people are creating apps and websites and are able to sell them, make thousands of dollars, or implement them into their business, or just make personal apps for themselves. So let's look a bit more into what's the deal with vibe coding. So basically, instead of learning a programming language, you can use English or use your native tongue to describe what's needed. And then the programming is done by AI. So of course, always back to the basics. You have to understand prompt engineering. That's the basis of everything, right? So let's look at vibe coding in relation. We want to create an app. So you really are going to have to understand how an app is put together and the conceptual parts of it. You can't be completely green and just go straight into vibe coding. You have to have a conceptual understanding of websites, of apps, of how they're put together. So you can say in English how it is to be done, but yet not need to know the code. So as you have here, the focus is on creativity and problem solving and not on code. So how does it work? You describe, for example here, I want to do an app with colorful buttons. The AI creates the code, you check, you test it out, see if it works, and then you refine it. And the refining is done with testing and plain English. What's the key benefits? Of course, speed, accessibility, it's done quickly and you don't really need to know programming languages. So it's very accessible. You can be quite creative with it. As a matter of fact, what happens is that, the creativity, you focus on the concept. So like with anything in this area, it's best to start with things that are very simple. So start with simple projects, a simple website, web page with a couple buttons, test and see if the button works, like I have here, add a calculator, check and see if the calculator works. So start with these simple things and then you can move on to the complex things as you see what sort of bugs come up, and you just bring your chops up into how to move it along. Now, someone who codes and understands coding language and can actually build an app or build websites, they definitely have an advantage because they already have the conceptual part down. So definitely, if you already understand coding and so forth, that gives you an advantage. But it's not a huge chasm between it. So get your chops up in understanding the conceptual part. Good tools to use, right? So Repl.it, Farmer, Bubble, Cursor, play with those tools. Get to understand them. So that's step number 1. And then, write clear prompts. In a sense, that's step number one, but we're considering that you already know how to do prompts, and now you're moving into the phase of vibe coding. So considering that, first you understand the tools, and then you start writing the prompts, right? Learn basic JavaScript and HTML, CSS. Yeah, you can't get around this. JavaScript, it's not that complicated. It's pretty straightforward. So, most coders won't really consider that deep understanding of coding, but it's definitely helpful, right? So that you can get a bit deeper into what you're creating. Number 4, design. Design is major, right? You have to understand UI, UX, user interface, and user experience with your design. So that the whole design part and understanding how to put it together is actually going to be the most difficult part of vibe coding. And then you start stacking, right? Chaining different tools together and so forth. And the flow is test and tweak, test and tweak. Okay, so you want to get on with this really quickly. How should you do this? Right? First, use the building tools like Farmer and Webflow. Learn basic JavaScript so you understand the logic behind all of this. Automate. You want to be able to plug into Make and Zapier so that automation can happen. Because you definitely need automation if you're going to be building more complex apps and so forth. Reverse engineering. So look at apps that are this will help you with your design. Look at apps that are already in existence, apps that might be similar to what you want to create, and reverse engineer them. And that will help you. With your concept and being able to be effective with your vibe coding. Okay, some final tips. Plain English. Check your results, right? Always check, fix, iterate. Learn a tiny bit of coding. Like we said before, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Like I said, the big time coders, when I say, oh yeah, I know CSS, I can code it, I know they chuckle. So don't be scared, right? It's pretty much logic and understanding how to put your thoughts together. So don't be terrified and have fun. It's a vibe. All right. That's why it's called vibe coding. It's a vibe. Get your ideas, get your ideas in sequence properly, have them formulated properly. Really think about what you're doing and then vibe it out. All right. That's it for now. That's the last one of this 4-part series. The intention of these ones are just to give you an overview. So you can go and get started, start playing, start fumbling around, start learning. I will now do deeper dives into each of these sections so that you can have more guidance into really getting your fingers involved. Well, it's all mind work, eh? So really getting your mind involved and helping you along your way. All right, that's it for now. Till next time.